Hello everyone, welcome back to Southern Exposure, and yep, it's me John back with another meal I'm going to cook for you today. As you can see, we're in here in the kitchen, and we've got a beautiful day outside in South Louisiana, and barbecue season is right around the corner. But before I get out there, I got one more meal I want to do inside here for you guys, and I think you're really going to love it. So what is that going to be, you ask? Well, today I'm cooking pastalaya. Pastalaya? Yeah, pastalaya. You heard it right, guys. Most of you that are not from the South, especially in Louisiana, may not have heard of pastalaya, but you have heard of something very similar to it called jambalaya. Well, pastalaya is made with pasta instead of rice. Pastalaya is very close to the same ingredients and method as you do with jambalaya. It's just a little different. It's really not much. But pastalaya is what I wanted to do today for you guys. My family has been after me to make some before it gets too hot outside, because summer's coming, and you know, we do more barbecue in the summer here and outdoor things, and not so much jambalaya and gumbos and stuff like that. So the pastalaya is going to be what we're doing today, and it's going to be very simple to do. Any of you guys can do it. All the ingredients that I have are sitting right here behind me. And basically all you need is these few things and a pot. Well, as you can see, I've got my cast iron pot. The lid's coming off, guys. That means we're about to get to cooking. So what we're doing in this cook is with the pastalaya, we have our pasta. Now this particular one is the rotoni noodles. Okay. A lot of people down here use these noodles, or the bow tie noodles, or the long spaghetti noodles. We just happen to like the rotoni noodles or the bow tie, so I just picked the rotoni to do today. And it's not a whole lot of seasonings that go with it. We have some fresh seasoning vegetables right here. Now this is a local company that prepares these. This has your onions and your celery, your bell pepper already in it. If you're not going to do that, if you can't get this kind of stuff from your local grocer, you're just going to use a bell pepper, an onion, some green onions, 2 stalks of celery, chop that all up, you know, until it's chopped up real good. It's going to be the same thing, but this saves you a step from doing that, and it's really fresh stuff, so it's really good. And of course, we got minced garlic. We've got a little cooking oil, of course, a little salt and pepper, and we're going to use some Creole seasoning. Now you can use whatever seasoning you like. It doesn't matter. Your favorite Cajun seasoning is what I would recommend. This particular one is Creole seasoning. But you can use whatever you like in that. And I'll show you how we'll do that later. We have fresh sausage. This is fresh smoked sausage. We have our pork. And we have our chicken. All right here, cut up, ready to go. I would recommend that you guys get as fresh of sausage as you can, depending on where you live. If you have a local sausage maker in your area, you might want to get with them, because the sausage is really the difference, guys. The better quality sausage you have in these type meals really makes a difference. It really does. So if you have the opportunity to do that, go visit your local sausage maker and get with him and get some of that good fresh smoked sausage for it. But if you don't, just use whatever you normally like. It's just fine. It's all going to be good. All right. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. It's not a whole lot to it. So all we got to do is do it. So let's get started. Okay, guys, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little seasoning onto our pork and our chicken. And that's just a basic seasoning. We're just going to do a little salt and pepper. Okay. So I'm just going to season that up. Little salt and pepper. And here's the chicken with a little salt and pepper. All right, we're going to set that off to the side, and we're going to get our seasoning started. I got it right here. We're going to get our pot heated up. You want to get your pot up to about a medium heat, maybe a little bit above. And I'm going to add a little bit of vegetable oil. Now, as most of you know, I don't do a whole lot of measurements with our cooking. You know, we just kind of know how to do it. But I will tell you, this is maybe about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil I'm going to put in the pot. And that's just to help the seasoning get started so we don't burn it. So we got our seasoning. Now this is a 1 pound container. It's a little bit more than half full. We're going to use the whole thing. Okay, we're just going to dump that in. You get all that out of there. All right, got that done. The way that goes. So we got our oil in there. Let me get this in here where you can see a little better. Okay, we got this in here. I'm going to turn the fire up a little more. Now what we're going to do with this is we're going to cook it down. We just want it to wilt down a little bit. I'm actually going to use my roux spoon to do this with rather than that rubber spatula for obvious reasons. All right, so we're just going to cook this down. Now, what we're doing here is we're going to wilt this stuff. We're just going to cook it down. It's going to wilt. It's going to get soft. It's going to take a few minutes, so just take your time. Don't get in a hurry. Don't walk away from it and leave it for too long, like, you know, because it will burn on you. You don't want to burn it. So you're just going to cook this down. We're just going to soften it up a little bit, and then I'm going to add the sausage to it. Okay? So I'm going to stir this a little bit. I'm going to keep going up with the heat just a little. I'm not going on high heat. I'm going like on this stove. It's about number 7. And I just want to get it hot enough to start cooking it down, but not too hot to where we start burning it. Okay, we've got our seasoning been cooking down about 5, 6, close to 10 minutes now. We don't need it to cook down all the way just yet. It's going to continue to cook down, but at this point, this is where we're going to add our sausage. Now, all of these ingredients I'm using, well, the meat is in about 1 pound, all about 1 pound. This is about a pound. This is maybe a little more than a pound of sausage, and the pork is a pound. And the chicken, these are chicken thighs, by the way, if I didn't say that. The chicken is about a pound too. So this particular pot, everything's going to be, the big things are going to be about a pound. Okay, so this is cooking down. We're going to go ahead and add our sausage in. Set that to the side. I like to do my sausage right after the seasoning, because it gets all the flavors going. You get a lot of grease from the sausage. It's going to help to make everything go together good. So we're just going to cook this down. This will just take a few minutes, you know. Like I said, just give it time. Don't rush it. Make sure your sausage is browned on both sides, and that'll probably take about 10 minutes. Now my heat setting is still on 7. Which is fine, as long as you don't walk away from it. So I'm going to cook this down. All right, guys, we're still cooking it down. It's starting to smell really good. You could almost just eat it like this if you wanted to. All right, so the sausage is almost browned. It's got a couple of more minutes to go. And about this step is when I like to add my garlic. So I'm going to do that right now. And I'm just going to do a regular teaspoon of garlic. It's kind of heaping. It's a little more maybe. You know, about that much. And throw that right in on top. Set that out of the way. And we're going to stir that in. Let that start cooking in. Ooh, it smells good. Already smelling good. The onion, bell pepper, celery, it's all starting to cook down, starting to wilt down good. It's just going to take a few more minutes. All right, we're going to cook this down just a few more minutes. Then I'm going to add the pork and the chicken. Okay, guys, we got this cooking down. It's all browned up. The seasoning is all getting cooked in. It all looks real good. Okay, we're going to add, the next step is, we're going to add our pork and we're going to add our chicken. We're going to get that right in there. All right. Set that off to the side. And this is where we're going to add our Creole seasoning. Now, what I'm going to do, I guess, is 2 to 3 tablespoons. I really don't need to measure it. I just need to put it in there. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. All right. So now we're going to brown the chicken thighs in the pork. We're going to let all that cook in and brown up. And that's going to take a few minutes. Like I said, you just got to stand over the stove a little while. You know, don't get far. Just be patient. It's all going to come together. You're going to see. We're just going to let all this cook down. We got our seasonings in there. It's all looking good. It smells so good already. So this will take about, you know, we'll give this about 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. Let that cook down and brown. And everything else is just still cooking down that we put in there first. It's going to be even better. Okay, y'all, it's been about 12, 13 minutes. The chicken and the pork have cooked down. Man, it's starting to really, really smell good. Take a look at that. Let me get a scoop of that, just show you. Man, you could eat it just like that, huh? We could make a sandwich out of that. But we're not done yet. Okay, what we're going to do at this point is, what I have here is 2 cups of chicken broth. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to pour this chicken broth in here. Okay. I'm going to raise my fire back up from 7 to about 8. Now, the chicken thighs are normally going to be tender. The sausage is going to be pretty much tender. The pork sometimes will tend to be a little tough, even if you cook it down a while. So what I like to do at this point is I put a little chicken broth in here. Then I let it simmer for about 15 minutes, and that'll help cook down that pork that sometimes tends to be a little tough. If you eat enough of this stuff and cook it, you'll go to some place, you'll go, man, it's delicious, but the pork was a little tough. Well, I don't want to be caught like that, so this is what I'm doing, is cooking it down a little bit. So we got a little bit of juice in there from the chicken broth. We're going to let that simmer down for probably about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Now, on top of that, I'm going to also put in 3 bouillon cubes. These are the beef ones, the beef bouillon cubes. 1, 2, 3. We're going to stir that in. And the bouillon cubes are just going to give it more flavor. Just going to give it more flavor. All right, so we got this in here. I got the fire turned up a little bit. I'm going to put the lid on it. And we're going to let that sit for about 10 minutes. Now, sometimes I'll leave a little crack in it. Let that sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, folks, it's been about 12 minutes. It's been a little bit over 10 minutes. I'd say about 12. We're going to take the lid off of it, set it to the side, and take a look at that. As you can see, it's cooking down real good. Now, one thing with that pork, I can take my little spoon here and I can just push on it, and I can tell already it's nice and tender. So now you don't have to worry about anything being a little tough in there. Everything cooked down a little bit extra, so it's going to be good. All right, there's still a good bit of juice left in here. So at this point, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my oven. I'm going to set my oven to bake at 300 degrees. And I'm going to get that heating up. And I'm going to go ahead and take my pasta. Now this is 1 pound of pasta, which equates to about 4 cups of noodles, maybe a little bit more. But this is 1 pound of pasta, and I'm going to pour this right in on top. Okay? Got that in there. We're going to move that around a little bit. Now, here's another important step. I'm going to take some more chicken broth, and I'm going to add just enough to it. And the reason I'm adding chicken broth to it is I want to make sure there's enough liquid in there to cover the noodles. so they'll cook. Okay, so that's 2 more cups. If I have to, I can add a little more. I'm gonna look at it here in just a minute. I'm gonna stir that around, get it down in there. Okay, so I wind up adding about another 1.5 cups of chicken broth to it, and now it's got just enough for it to cook the noodles. All right, now I've got my oven set at 300, and it's coming up to temperature. So at this point, you just want to level out everything in the pot. You want to get everything flat, okay? So you want all those noodles to be down in there where they'll cook. All right, just like that. All right, I'm gonna put my lid back on it. I'm going to grab my other pot holder so I don't burn myself. I'll pick this up, set it over here for a minute. All right, I'm gonna open my oven up. Now my oven's set to 300, like I said. I'm gonna move this rack up one row. Okay. And we're gonna set this pot in here, just like this. I don't know if you can see this. Let me lower the camera. Oops, sorry about that. So I got the pot right here going in. All right, pot's in the oven. I got it. I'll put it a little bit in the middle. Okay. So we got that in the oven, set at 300. We're going to set our timer for 1 hour. 1 hour and 1 minute. We'll set our timer for 1 hour. Okay? Got the timer set for 1 hour. About 30 minutes, I'm going to come back and probably take a peek at it. So this is another method on how to finish cooking this. You can cook it on the stovetop. I've done it many times. My wife's done it many times. Most people do that. When you're cooking this on the stovetop, you've got direct heat coming from the bottom. So you have to periodically stir it and stir it and stir it. In the oven, it's kind of heating from all the way around. So it's not the heat isn't as intense coming from the bottom. Yes, it is some, but not as intense. So if you put it in the oven, you don't have to watch over it as much. Like in this particular case, I'm going to come back in about 30 minutes and check in on it and just see how it's doing. And I may stir it a little bit and just check it. And then, but by an hour, it should be done. So I'm going to check back with y'all in just a minute and show you what we got. So be right back. Okay, guys, the 1 hour timer's gone off. It's the moment of truth is here. So let's check and see what we got. Ooh, I can smell it already. Be careful when you pull this out the oven because it's hot. Whew. All right. Get it up here on the stove. All right, folks, I got some garlic bread all seasoned up, ready to go. So this is going to take about 10 minutes because the oven's already hot. So we're going to put that in there. We're going to give that about 10 minutes. Let that sit for 10 minutes until the bread's done. Then we're going to take the top off. And then we're going to get after it. Well, okay, guys. Here we go. The garlic bread's already out of the oven. So this has been sitting about 10 minutes. I'm going to turn the timer off here. I'm a little early on that, but that's fine. So we're going to pull the lid off of this thing and give it a look. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Y'all get in here and look at this. Let me give this a twirl around. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. Oh. Let me get this turned around a little bit for you. We're gonna make a plate of this. Oh, this, God, it smells so good. This smells so good. Everything is cooked down perfect. Look at the beautiful color of this. Let me plate some up for you guys. And we'll do this the right way. Let me get some of this plated. Oh man, look at all of that meat. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible, guys. Man. All right, have a look at that. Does that look good? You want to smell it with me? Ah, you got all the seasoning in there. You got that goodness from the sausage. Oh, that smoked sausage. This is what I was telling you guys. It really matters about the quality of your sausage because it really makes the meal that much better. It really helps. I can't express that enough. But look, the chicken is tender. The pork is so tender. And it is steaming hot. I hope I can get a bite without burning myself on camera. But here we go. The noodles are tender. There's a bite of the pork. Here's a bite of the chicken. Ooh, it's hot. I'm gonna get a bite of that sausage. Ooh. Absolutely incredible. Of course, I've got my chocolate milk to wash it down with. Boy, that's good. Okay, guys, so just to run this back by you, we put this in the oven for exactly 1 hour. At 1 hour, I pulled it out. Now, 30 minutes into that hour, I did open it up and give it a stir just to check on it. It was doing wonderful. Pushed it back in, closed the oven door back, and let it finish out. We pulled it out, set it on the stovetop to rest just long enough for the garlic bread to cook. It always helps to let it rest a little bit. And we took the top off, plated it up, and here we are, man. And look, remember guys, everything is just about in 1 pound increments, okay? The sausage, 1 pound. The chicken, 1 pound. The pork, 1 pound. 1 pound of noodles, okay? I'll leave in the description all the methods and everything there so you can see it, so you guys can do exactly what I did. It's so easy to do. And take a look at this pot. In this pot, man, this is a lot of food. I mean, this is a nice sized plate. This is going to fill me up. You're looking at about 10 people, about 10 adults out of this one pot. About 10 adults. Now, if you got some big eaters, yeah, it might come down a little bit, but you can feed up to 10 people. I'm telling you guys, this food goes a long ways, feeds a lot of people. It's inexpensive to make. Like some other meals are really expensive to make. This one is not. It's easy to make. It just takes a little time. You just don't rush it. Just follow the methods that I used in this and you'll do just fine. And of course, this is for my friends up north and out west and east. I know my Louisiana buddies, y'all are just sitting here. Yeah, John, we know. We do this all the time. This isn't for y'all guys. This is for my other friends who doesn't know about this goodness that we eat all the time. So guys, this is for you. So give this a try. And please leave me a comment, especially those of you that try this. And I don't care if you come back a few days later. Leave me a comment. Get in touch with me somehow. Let me know how it turned out for you. I'd be so glad to hear from you. And it means so much to me to get the feedback from you guys. So, and don't forget to like and share my videos out, guys. I really need the support as much as I can get. I'm trying to get exposed out to a bigger audience, so more and more people that not just in my area but all over can see these videos. And so use your other social medias and share them there as well. It'll really help get them out, and I really appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. So I'm going to get this inside. My family's probably in there with their forks in their hand, you know. We want food. We want food. So I'm going to go ahead and get in there and feed the family because it's supper time. This ended up just right with this video, so I planned it just right. So, well, guys, this is John with Southern Exposure, and we'll see you next time. Oh, man. Bye.